Are Fender Custom Shop guitars worth it? Let's chat about it today. But first, tone. After spending many years on the guitar floor, selling guitars to all you lovely people out there, one of the most frequent questions that I would get, especially when we were talking Fender, would be, is a custom shop guitar worth it? Especially because in our stores, we usually put the Fender custom shops right next to the production models. Think like Mexican, the brand new standard range that came out as well, which you can click the link above my head to check out our launch video for that. And the obviously large multitude of other Fenders that we do sell. Customers would always be asking me like, well, why has that one got so many more zeros after its price tag than this one that looks the same? And that's a completely valid question. So I'm gonna give you my opinions on why I think that is. And it's not just your usual, like, well, these ones are made by one person and these are the best equipment and all that, well, the best materials and everything like that. But I will kind of be mentioning a little bit of that, of course. Now, just something I want to clear up right away at the start of this video. By all means, Fender custom shop guitars, or any custom shop guitars for that matter, are considered the best of the best when it comes to what a certain company can make. But this is not a video to say that you need one of these guitars. Recently, I went to a gig. It was this a huge stadium show that is going across all of the UK, all of Europe, and the lead singer was playing an Epiphone. He's got a signature Epiphone, he plays it on every single one of the shows. The right guitar for you doesn't necessarily mean it's the most expensive one in the shop. So by all means, if you've got something that does you really, really well, or you go out on tour with like a 300, 400 pound like Squire or something like that, then you're gonna have a great time. And more props to you actually for that. But reason one for this video, and I know I said I wouldn't talk about like the build quality and stuff like that, so I'll make this one very quick. But the build quality of these guitars is just absolutely next level, especially when you're looking at the Master Builder range with Fender. This particular guitar here, made by Dale Wilson, who is kind of the GOAT when it comes to like Fender guitars. Certainly these kind of more vintage inspired ones, and that's another point that I will make. If I'm just talking even just kind of playing this guitar, trust me, this feels amazing. Obviously, the necks are a huge part with the custom shop guitars, especially from Fender. I'm not here to settle the relicking debate. Personally, I quite like it. Let me know if you like it or hate it down in the comments as well. With this guitar, it feels like it's been played. It feels like it's old. It feels like it's got a kind of vintage vibe to it, and you know, almost kind of comes with a story. And on the topic of stories, actually, reason two is the fact that you can kind of get a guitar that's got maybe a little bit more of a story to it, that being whether you spec'd it up yourself, or the fact that it's like a period piece. You know, this is a 1955 Telecaster right here, a very specific year, but the fact that this guitar has actually got loaded with 1958 pickups in it as well is like quite a cool little addition, because it's not completely period correct, but it's almost kind of like a bit of a Frankenstein of like the best bits of Fender's past. And of course you are going to get some other options on it that just can make them stand out from your more traditional kind of mainline Fender, I guess you would maybe call it. For example, the colors, or the fact that obviously there is relicking on it. This is an absolutely stunning 1962 Fender Stratocaster in Shoreline Gold. Now Shoreline Gold is obviously a color that they have made and do make in the kind of production line as well. But it's got that stunning journeyman finish on it as well, which the kind of levels of relicking, that's what that really means. There's not too much kind of like wear on this. It would kind of just be like quite natural wear that you would expect. But this thing sounds absolutely stunning as well. Check this out. just tons of vibe in that. This just feels absolutely stunning to play. And that goes without saying, you know, these guitars, like, they wouldn't call them like master builder ones. This particular one being made by Austin McNutt as well, which this just feels just lovely to play, even though it's got that kind of sticky lacquer neck on it as well. But with the nitro that they're using on this, it's going to wear away. It's going to tell its own story as you start to wear it away yourself. And of course, as Aaron reminded me, what would a Strat be without those clunky Strat-8 riffs? Heaps fun. Now, the third reason why a custom shop is worth it as well, and this is more kind of pointed towards the vintage guitar fans of the world. Let me just put this down very, very quickly, because if I grab my laptop, let's just do a very quick search, shall we? It's a 1962 Strat here, isn't it? 1962 Strat, secondhand. I mean, these prices make you sweat. Good Lord. I mean, there's one there that I found that's over 20k, £40 delivery as well, so that's not too bad for you. But put that into comparison. This is $8,999 currently, this guitar. You can check the link in the description of this video here if you want to check it out on the website. Now, that is a whole chunk of change. That's nothing to shy at. But if you're looking for a 1962 Stratocaster, you know, that's a lot of money right there. So that would be my reason. You know, I really don't need to get into the reasons why, you know, buying a custom shop replica, you know, is a very, very accurate replica of an actual vintage instrument, is maybe the way to go, because you're saving a little bit of money on there. And actually, if we're talking about that kind of like vintage vibe to it as well, you ever tried to source like vintage parts for a vintage instrument? It's near enough impossible if you know the right people as well. So the fact that you can get like kind of like old-ish stock that goes with this, you know, the custom shop aren't going to run out of pickups that are based on those, and they're made by the best people. All the parts are all made by the best people as well. So you're getting pretty much, you know what, I'm even going to come out and say it, I think it's better than some of the vintage stuff as well, because sometimes they can't be fixed. Sometimes those old parts weren't that good. This is years and years of development. The Strat's been around for 70 odd years at this point. And the fact that they can look back, get the vintage vibe with it, but throw some modern appliances on it as well. Like, this has still got like the truss rod, you know, adjusted at the bottom of the neck and all that, but you can get ones that have got it up the top as well. Just think how much easier that'll be if you're actually playing it night to night. Now, don't get me wrong, if, you know, anything does break on it as well, it's going to be awful, but it's certainly not going to be as awful as your vintage instrument. And, you know, that's kind of like the thing that I always say to folk. It's mostly to do with the old stuff, you know. If you're a really big fan of a specific year of Stratocaster, you're going to be paying through the absolute nose to get like an actual proper one. Unless you're really lucky, or unless, you know, you're a fan of like a 1981 Strat or something like that, because you can find them in an abundance. But for those golden years of Strats, the ones that really laid the foundation of, unless you're a vintage collector, unless you've got an absolute wad of money, then the custom shop is probably the way to go. But again, I really want to reiterate in this video here, there's reasons to go with the custom shop, but by all means, see if this Player 2 gets you where you need to be and you like the feeling of it, then that's the guitar for you. Don't feel like you need a custom shop, but if they match up with your tastes, it's definitely something that you should check out next time you're in a guitar store. But what do you think? Have you tried a custom shop before? Do you own one? Do you intend to own one? Then certainly let me know down in the comments below, and while you're there, give us a like and a subscribe, because you can keep up with all the latest news at Guitar HQ. But until next time, I've been Kieran. This has just been a very quick look into why I think a Fender custom shop guitar is absolutely worth it. Have a great day.